Hello guys, it's Leon here. Welcome again to another video of learning Selenium using C Sharp. So in this video what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to use if statements. So these are quite handy. We call them conditional statements. I'm just going to do a bit of a tutorial over here about them. Just going to quickly open up our Visual Studio. I'm just going to say conditional, just going to save this as conditional. That should be good enough for this. Okay, so this is just a little video to show you how to use if statements. So I'm actually not gonna go into detail setting up other stuff such as NUnit. If you don't know how to use NUnit, please just watch my other videos so you can learn how to use NUnit. First things we're going to do, we're going to actually get our packages for this project. So since we are not going to use any unit for this one, we're just going to use a Selenium WebDriver and Chrome WebDriver. Those are the only two things we are going to use on this project. Install that one. Okay, now that I've got that one, I'm also going to install Chrome driver. It's the browser that we are going to use to open up this. So we are also going to use XPath for this. If you don't know how to use XPath to install XPath, I would advise you go watch my other videos and you can learn how to use XPath from those videos. Just double checking that my packages are installed, and they are installed over here. Okay, just going to add them here to this project again. Okay, let's add the second one. Perfect. First things first, we always initialize our WebDriver. By the way, I'll be doing videos on how to do this in Java as well. So if you wanna get posted on that, on when I start doing Java, please just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you will get alerts whenever I do start my Java channel. Okay, Chrome driver. Okay, what's going on here? By the way, it's quite case sensitive. Seems I made a mistake somewhere here. Can't actually see what mistake I made. I'm just going to do this again. First to new. There we go. Perfect. Just a bit of a spelling mistake over there. It's also case sensitive. So we've got that down. So we're gonna have to go to our web page. Now to do that, that's how we actually enter our URL. Always have to put it in as a string. So this is the URL we're gonna go to. Just going to copy it there. And that's the URL we are gonna go to. One tip is if you want someone to actually understand your code, you always need to comment. I'm just going to add comments. Initialize driver. Okay, perfect. I've got that one there. So after we actually get to this page, what we are going to do is we're going to click on this, and if this is selected, we're going to display a message that says that this color is selected. And if this color is selected, we're going to actually display a message that says that this color is selected. And if none of these are selected, we're going to display a message that says nothing is selected. So that's what we are going to do in this example. Now off to the coding. Okay, so I'm going to actually use, what's the first color there? It's red. I'm going to use XPath for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to store the XPath value in this variable called red over here. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to use driver dot find element by, find this element by XPath. Okay, let me just put it in as a string. So what's the XPath for this element? I'm going to start off with the color red. If you don't understand what I'm doing here, I'm using XPath. Please just look at my other videos. There is a video on how to use XPath for such elements. Okay, perfect. So that element is actually under the color red over here. Going to do the second color, which is yellow. Should actually almost be the same. Let me just check something. It is actually the same. Okay, there it is. So the only difference is that it's input 2, but let me just copy it as well. But you know what, since it's definitely the same, just going to do the lazy thing, because that's what we coders do. Take the easy way out. Then I'm just going to make that the number 2. This is actually what is going on. So that's the color red, and that's the color yellow. Okay, so in the first, what I'm going to do initially now, I'm actually going to make the color, let me see, how do I tackle this one? Okay, I'm going to click on the color red. So in order to do that, I can actually just put a line here. So I want to say red dot click. Okay, did a bit of a mistake over there. That should be here. So this is actually one way of doing it. Initially, you could have actually put all of these under here, but I'm just doing it like this, so it's easier for us to see how we are doing. So it's easier for us to see what's going on over there. Okay, now off to the if statement. So in my if statement, I'm going to say if red dot is selected. So what you can see, you can actually use this for text boxes that you need to see if they are displayed or enabled. So in this case, we're going to use if that one is selected. Selected is the method type. If that is selected, curly brackets, what do we need to happen? This is where we'll put in the outcome of what happens if this is met. If that requirement is met, that the color red is selected. So if that is selected, I want us to display a message. dot right line. Okay, so we're just going to display something on the console. You can basically use this for calculations and other stuff, but in this case you're only going to display in the console. So we're going to display a message that says the color red is selected. Now that's what happens if that color is selected. Just indent my code here. Make my code a bit sexy for you guys. Always have to make the code sexy, you know, put some lingerie on that code. Okay, perfect, we've got that. Never forget that. Okay, perfect. Now that's the first condition. We're going to use an else if for this one. So else if, and I'm going to put in the other condition. So I'm going to say if yellow is selected, then what should be the result of this? What should it display? So it should display that yellow is selected. I'm just going to copy that code again, paste it over here. Now we've got those two conditions, but what if none of those are selected? We're just going to say else. You can make another else if you want, but to make things simpler for us, we're just going to actually add and say neither yellow or red is selected. That's the message that is going to display here. Okay, so that's the message that displays if neither of those are selected. So let's look at this. What do we have? In this one, we have the color red is selected. So the message we are supposed to see is the one that says the color red is selected. I'm going to build my code, build my solution. It's done, and I'm going to start. So let's see how that works out for us. Okay, by the way, this is the console, so this is where we're actually going to see the output. Okay, should load the page over there. Okay, I didn't maximize the page, but that's okay. Okay, perfect. So the color red is selected. As you can see, I'm just going to check the console, and that's what the console is telling us. It's telling us that that color is selected. Perfect. I'm just going to close this. Okay, now let's actually change that color to yellow. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. So now let's see what happens if we are using yellow. Should build this. Okay, perfect. Okay, perfect. Now let's see. Oops, I actually think I clicked something that I shouldn't have clicked. So I'm just going to stop that and I'm going to do it again. Apologies for that. So we have selected the color yellow now. Let's see what happens with that color yellow selected. Just gonna wait for it to load. Okay, I think it's done now. I can actually open up the page. And there, so yellow is selected. And that's what our message tells us. The color yellow is selected. Perfect, I've closed that. Now I'm going to comment this. So basically no color is selected. This won't display. This condition is not met. This condition is not met as well. But this condition is met because none of these are met. So this is the else statement to say if none of these are met, then this is what should happen. Okay, I'm just going to build a solution and I'm going to start it. Okay, solution is done. Let me just maximize. Okay, so none of those two are selected. So let's see what our message says. There, neither red or yellow is selected. And with that said, I can say that this was a success. If you've got any questions, if you need more if statements, if you need more explanation, just hit me up in the comments. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And that's all for this if statements. Thank you. Goodbye.